Okay, am I back? No worry, I'll handle the streams and everything after. Am I back, guys? Okay, that was an interesting one. So this was a crash on both Steam and Action. What had happened was, okay, you know how when Action would crash, it would freeze, and I would have to literally force close it out and everything. This was different. Action just like completely disappeared, and when I re-clicked Action, it gave me the prompt to report the crash to Mithrilus, and then I was able to come back. That's kind of new. That was interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the hell happened there. Alright, we need to do HP recovery. And we'll finish that off with Tentacle Claw. But, yeah, that was weird. Yeah, I don't know what it was here. Because, yeah, I use Action streaming software from Steam instead of, like, OBS and all that. I don't think OBS is very user-friendly. Same with Mr. Rumble Roses. He doesn't really think it's user-friendly either. But, it is what it is. Yeah. See, when it comes to me and streaming on my PC, it's basically like this. I just want like a spot that I can flex around a window and stream on that and have my chat beside it. You know? That's how I like it. I'm not a flashy streamer or anything like that. I just do what I like to do. That's it. That's all. Like, I don't have BRB screens. I don't have start and soon screens or anything like that. I feel I'm not that kind of streamer. I'm kind of that type of streamer that gets straight to the point, I guess you could say. Nothing flashy or anything. Oh no, Rumble got a double lead. Hoggers. Oh. But yeah, it's okay though. I'll handle the stream and everything after. It's not a big issue to me right now. To have a partner who loves to do art, so shoot at all your overlays and such. Oh yeah, that's right. You do stream, don't you, Crow? Yeah, let me get a shout out for Crow as well. I am so sorry. I completely forgot about that, dude. At least you got to see that pit thing that I've been talking about, I guess. Oh, you're talking about the Fallout 76 pit? Yeah, I did a couple videos on that on YouTube. I finally got all the trophies for that too. The pit's very fun, but I do have my issues with it. See, I guess you could say I'm very similar to Rods, where I really like lore more than action. Oh yes, I play Fallout 76 off stream with some of my close friends. Well, the close friends I have left. Yeah, I do. I would stream Fallout 76 more, but honestly, I think my PlayStation 4 and my internet at my apartment I live in would clash if I did that. That's why if I was going to stream Fallout 76, I would do it at my mom's place. Because her internet's a little more stable than mine. Plus, when it comes to 76, I can be kind of loud. I love my Bethesda games. I really do. I really do love my Bethesda. Like, I'm going to say this. I find it funny that my favorite Bethesda games are Bethesda teamed up with someone. Like another company. So, like, for example, I love Fallout New Vegas. That's my favorite Fallout game. You know, fight me in the streets. But I also love Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, which that is Bethesda teamed with Machine Games. So yeah, I really, really love my Bethesda games. I really do. The only Bethesda game, though, that I felt was a little lackluster, because I only played the demo for it and I didn't like the demo, was Prey. I have heard that Prey, the actual game, is fun. But I'm the kind of person where if I play a free demo, okay, oh, I'm about to get to Doom in a minute. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Because I have a lot to say about Doom. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. I'm the type of person where if I play a demo, depending on how I felt about the demo, would be if I play the actual game. And it was a great concept. I've even heard theories that Prey originally was supposed to be the Starfield game we were going to get, but they kind of scrapped the idea at last minute and put it back into production. But they didn't know what to do with the footage that they already made. So I felt that that's what made Prey. Now I'm going to get to Doom here. Let me tell you this. I think Doom 2016 is one of the best Doom games I have ever played. And that's saying a lot because I love Doom 64. I love the original Doom that came out on MS-DOS and all of its different ports. But I'm going to say this. There's just something about Doom 2016. It feels like the perfect Doom game that I have wanted ever since I was a kid. Like, and that's saying a lot because I have a lot of thoughts, I guess you could say. This is coming from someone where Doom 64 was originally his favorite Doom game. Doom 64 was my favorite Doom game of all time. Just like Doom 64 is Mr. Rumble Rose's favorite. Still to this day. But then when I played and beat Doom Eternal, I don't like Doom Eternal. I felt Doom Eternal took a perfected formula and they added too much to it. That's how I feel about that. And I feel the difficulty system for Doom Eternal is broken. The movement in Doom Eternal is okay, but it had a lot of issues, in my opinion. Well, let me see. Rumble, you watched me play Doom Eternal. What was the main things that I complained about in that game? Because I purged a lot of it out of my head when I was finished with it. Like I'm trying to remember. See, I'll agree that the flow was a little better. Oh my God, the Marauders! Oh, I hated those bastards. As a boss, the Marauder wasn't that bad. As a regular enemy, oh, they pissed me off. Yeah, the delays. Yeah, the game also had delays when I was trying to grab walls. And I'm really good with button mashing and button hits at like particular times because I always over reflex a lot, and because I over reflex, I'm able to react to things about a couple seconds faster than I guess a regular person would. But yeah, I had a lot of delay issues. The Marauders, oh my god, they fucking pissed me off. I will say I love the cutscenes in Doom Eternal. I love the lore dump they put on you in Doom Eternal. I like that. I love the big twist as well, that the Doom Slayer is Doom Guy. I love it. They didn't have to do it, but I love it. I do. How can I put it? Doom Eternal felt like a Bethesda game, while Doom 2016 felt like an id Software game. Even though it's Bethesda teamed with id Software, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal had different feelings to it. Now, when I say that a game acts like a Bethesda game, Bethesda games are known for delays, they're known for bugs, they're known for frame rate drops, and stuff like that. Now, then there's id Software games. I've never really had many issues with id Software games. Now, Rumble would probably argue with me because, you know, he's played more Wolfenstein, Doom, and Duke Nukem than I have. But I do love my Duke Nukem. I really wish that... I don't know if Bethesda would even give it anything good. But I wouldn't mind if Bethesda got the rights to Duke Nukem. They're not really doing anything with Duke. Dude, imagine if we had gotten a Duke Nukem style game on Doom in the same style as Doom 2016. Oh, that would have been orgasmic. And that's saying a lot. I love my Duke Nukem. Okay, let me explain though. I have a really big dislike for Duke Forever. I hate saying this so much, but I despise Duke Nukem Forever. I really do. Rumble, I think, likes Duke Forever. Yeah, mods are really the only things that keep Duke relevant. Well, that and John St. John. You know, I remember. I remember when John St. John did a shout out to me. It was one of the best birthday presents I ever got from Rumble. I think I still have that as a command. I don't remember the fucking command. But I have a command on here that'll send you to that video. I just don't remember the fucking command. But yeah, I got shouted out by John St. John. I love John St. John. That is an amazing individual right there. Oh, okay, I see what you're talking about. When you said Duke Nukem 3D Forever, the first thing I thought of was Duke Nukem Forever. But yeah, Duke Nukem 3D was really, really good. It had some interesting ports, though. See, I can't really say which port of Duke Nukem 3D I like the most. There we go. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Duke. Yeah. Yeah, shout out to John St. John. Yeah. Love you, Rumble. Yeah, yeah. He did that as a birthday thing for me. See, John St. John is the only man I would never get pissed off about calling me a pussy. As long as he did it in the Duke Nukem voice. Oh, trust me, I know that it was in developmental hell for ages. See, the thing is, I'm kind of stuck between, like, what is it? I can't remember which port of Duke Nukem 3D I like the most, but I not Atomic Edition, but there was the other port for Duke Nukem 3D for that. And then, of course, there was the Duke Nukem 3D for Nintendo 64, also known as Duke Nukem 64. Duke Nukem 64 had some very cool weapons in it, but I don't think they had music in it, right, Rumble? Like, Duke Nukem 64 didn't have music. But they were known for the creative weapons in that, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, only in the menu, yeah. I can't remember the port that I liked the most in terms of the other ones. I didn't like Atomic Edition. I didn't like Atomic Edition of Duke Nukem 3D. But there was another port that came after Atomic Edition that I liked. But the only thing I liked about Duke Nukem 64 was the new weapons that Duke had. I just can't remember that fucking port. It wasn't the Duke Nukem World Tour. It wasn't that. That one was so-so. Even though I really dig the quote-unquote Duke Nukem Lost Levels that was in there. I dig that. Now, I believe this came after Atomic. All I know was that it came out after Atomic Edition and it had additional episodes. I just can't remember which one it was. Because keep in mind, not all ports of Duke Nukem 3D were good. Not all of them were good. But Atomic was okay, but yeah, I think it was on 360. I think it was, yeah. Because I believe there was one port for Duke Nukem 3D that came out for PS1, and I believe that one was okay. But yeah, I think the one you're talking about was on 360. I think it was, yeah. I think it was the Saturn port. I think it was Saturn. I think it was. Because then, of course, people of different companies would take certain ports of games and port them to online marketplaces like 360 and stuff like that. Like for example, on PS4, I suggest not buying that version of Resident Evil Code Veronica, because the port that they decided to use for Code Veronica for PS4 was the PS2 version, and the PS2 version had a lot of audio issues and really bad lighting issues. I think it was the Dreamcast version of Code Veronica. It was either Dreamcast or was it GameCube? Can't remember. But it was an interesting situation. But yeah, in terms of Doom, though, before Doom 2016 was a thing, I was a big fan of Doom 64. Because Doom 64 was the perfect example of you didn't need music. The ambience was what got you. Plus, I really like the version of the Pinky Demons in 64 more than regular Doom. Oh, I still have my Dreamcast. I still have my original Sega Genesis. I got my Sega Nomad. I got my Dreamcast. I have a lot of other consoles packed up in my closet and everything. I got a lot of good stuff. I got a lot of really good stuff. The Nomad being one of my priceless treasures. Because in case people don't know, the Sega Nomad is basically a portable version of the Sega Genesis / Sega Master System. It's a very, very cool game console. However, it's bulkier than the Sega Game Gear. And oh my lord. Oh yeah, let me get to Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2, my favorite version of Resident Evil 2 was the Nintendo 64 version. The Nintendo 64 version had what was called the EX files, which added to the lore of Resident Evil 2. Plus, one of the files was a reference to Resident Evil 0, which was originally supposed to come out for Nintendo 64, but because of the fact that GameCube was coming out, they decided to get rid of what they originally programmed for Resident Evil 0, scrap it, and they remade it to what we had gotten for GameCube. It was a bitch to get a fucking Nomad back in the day, dude. Hell, I have an original Nintendo Famicom with a TV that goes to the channel that you can use it on. Like that. That's another priceless possession of mine. That, and I have an original Nintendo Power Glove. I have a PAX version of the Nintendo Power Glove, which is specifically used for Nintendo Famicom. Oh, it's one of my favorites as well. If you were to go onto my YouTube channel and look at my old series I used to do gaming reviews on, called the OnyxTheGamingMachine series, I did a review. One of my most successful reviews was of Super Mario Brothers 3, but I reviewed the Famicom version. And I even showed my Famicom. I still have my Famicom too, and I love it. Yeah, I get you. Oh, okay. But I will say, though, that one of the weirdest Duke Nukem games I ever played was one that was done in the style of Tomb Raider. And it wasn't first person. It was a different engine that they used for it. Got a family twin from Sharp. It's not quite so nice looking. Oh, really? Okay. Time to Kill. Man of the Babes was so. I did like the whole thing with Time to Kill, though. It's just Time to Kill was a very hard game to me, though, because of its controls were similar to that of tank controls, but the camera angles were kind of fucked. It's like, oh no, I'm stuck in a video game. Like, oh no, I'm really pissed off. It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum, but I'm all out of gum. But yeah, the Famicom controllers were absolutely terrible. They were hot wired to the system. I could not stand that. I'm trying to think, though, what are all the consoles I fucking own? Oh, man. Let me start this battle real quick, and I'm gonna think on that. I'm trying to play those one day, especially since they got some achievements. Those two are the main Duke games I've never got to experience yet. I'm gonna tell you this about Duke Nukem Time to Kill. Be ready to rotate that camera a lot. It's gonna fuck with you. Especially when you go into narrow areas with the game. You'll understand. I just hope you remember my warning about it. But let me do this. Let me do a little bit of this real quick, and I'm gonna close my eyes. And I'm gonna try and think of the different consoles I own, just for you, crowd, because I gotta remember. So let me see. Let me think here. Famicom, NES, Super Famicom, but it doesn't have any cords. I need to get a Super Nintendo. I want to get that. I have a Sega Genesis. I've been trying to look for a Sega CD and a Sega 32X connection for my Genesis, but I've been unsuccessful with that. Let me see. I have a Sega Nomad. I have a Sega Dreamcast. I want to get a Saturn. Let me see. I'm going to get to my other handhelds in a minute. But let me think. I used to have a GameCube, but I lost that because when my brother died, that was something I left at his house, and there was no way for me to get it back. So I need to get another GameCube. I have a Nintendo 64. I found the Nintendo 64 at a dump. It was completely broken, and I took a soldering iron, I put it all back together, and it works just like it's brand new. It even has the Rumble packs to go with it, so in case I want to play Pokemon games from Game Boy, I can do that. I'm going to get back to the game in a minute. I just have my eyes closed right now. I'm trying to think about everything I own. Nintendo 64. I have a Wii, but it's jailbroke. Let me see. I have a PS1. I have a PS2. I got a PS3. My PS3, though, is rare because it's considered one of the prototype PS3s. So it's completely backwards compatible with PS1 and PS2 games, as well as it can play PS3 games. Of course, I own a PS4. I've wanted to own a PSP and a PS Vita because memories. In terms of handhelds, I have my original Game Boy. I have a Game Boy Pocket. I have a Game Boy Color. I need to get a Game Boy Micro to add to my collection. I need to get a Game Boy Light, which is the backlit system that was only released in Japan. I have a Game Boy Advance version 1. I have a Game Boy SP, also known as Game Boy Advance version 2. And I have a Nintendo DS. I have a Nintendo 3DS. I have a Switch. I want to get a Sega Game Gear. That's all I can really think of right now. I need to get back to the game. But yeah, hopefully you heard all that. I had to really dig deep in my brain to remember everything that I have. Let's see. I appreciate that. Yeah, it is one hell of a collection because most of it was stuff I still had from my childhood that my mom didn't get rid of. Because my original mother was not exactly the most caring person in the world. I love my stepmom to death, though. She completely understands me when it comes to gaming. She does. It took her a while to fully understand it, but now she knows. Hell, my nieces play games, though. My main niece, though, she is 16. She is into Minecraft. I think the game's called Scrap Mechanic or something. She likes to talk about that game. But she's really into like stuff that she can play by herself. I wish she understood Pokemon better. But you can't have everything. But I love my nieces. They're like almost splitting images of myself. It's like if you put them together, they would totally equal out to Gothic me from back in the day. Because when I had my Gothic phase, I was both a spike and stud wearer, and I wore trips and tall boots. My oldest niece does the studs, wears the hoodies, wears the tall boots, fishnet stockings. My youngest niece, she's the spike wearer, dyed her hair, and they're both into Chemical Romance. I love the fact that they're both into My Chemical Romance. I'm so proud of my girls. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of them. Yeah, I love my nieces. Oh my god. They're like my new friends. I still mess with my mom about her kids and everything. I'm like, you gave birth to two of my newest friends. Yeah, I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them. My oldest niece is literally the modern version of a Vulcan from Star Trek. She's the most logical thinking girl that you will ever meet in your damn life. While my youngest niece, she is a very social goth girl. And she changed her pronouns to them/they. She is both masculine and feminine. While my oldest niece originally was my nephew, but she changed her pronouns to, well, he changed his pronouns to she, her. My game's having some frame rate issues here. Come on, game, don't do that. Come on, game, quit going slow on me. Don't do that. Could be like what? But yeah, I'm proud of them. They've come a long way. And you know, some people aren't very supportive of their changes. And I told them, you know, they can just fucking shove it. If they care more about their happiness than yours, then they don't give a damn. So, you know, don't let them get to you. And yeah, they both suffer from depression and stuff just like I do. But I'm proud of them. I am. I'm gonna wonder how they're gonna be when they hit legit puberty. Oh man. I'm not scared for them, but I am gonna be very what's the word I'm looking for? I'm gonna be very intrigued on how they become when they hit like 21 and stuff like that. Especially my logical niece. My also knows my oldest. I'm very proud of them. I'm proud of them both. But there's something about my oldest niece and me. We have a very interesting connection. But they both know that they can talk to me about anything that's on their mind. They don't seem to get it in their head that their mother, also known as my stepmother, is much smarter and accepting than they think that she is. Because the good thing about my stepmom is she is nothing like the stereotypical mothers that you would meet these days and age. You know, and I'm so glad that she is like that. She knows it's hard being a teenager. She understands it. You know. And actually, about, I'd say, I'm just going to say a matter of years ago because this is kind of her business. So I'm not going to like put a pinpoint of how many years it's been. But I'm going to say a matter of years. My mother has finally found her purpose in life and everything. And I'm very proud of my stepmom. Because also my stepmom made me who I am today. Because my original mother was not exactly the nicest person in the world. She was not a good mother at all. And if it wasn't for my stepmom and stepfather, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be. And I love them to death. Especially my stepdad. My stepdad is one of my best friends. And I brag about my stepdad all the time. I call him Superman. He is a reporter, and he's an editor. He's literally Clark Kent to me. He is Superman. And he is one of the best drinking partners that I have had in so many years. Yes, I drink with my dad, and I fucking love it. I drink with my mom too, but there's just something about the drinkings that I have with my dad that I cherish them very much. I do. I love my dad. But sooner or later, I'm probably going to end up seeing him again soon. Hopefully I'll be able to see him this week. That would be really nice. Oh, that would be so fucking nice if I could see him. Oh, man. That would be cool. But yeah, you know, I've had a lot of bad stuff happen in my life, but I've taken some of that and I've learned from it. But you know, everybody's been through stuff, and I get it. I do. In terms of my therapy, though, I'm gonna get some of my drink here. In terms of therapy, though, one thing that I've been getting used to when it comes to my therapy sessions and everything is the well, I think people will understand this. So, what is it? Okay, you know how when you grow up in life and you're going through your own problems, have you ever ran into people that say to you, there's people out there that are going through far worse than you. You should put that into consideration when it comes to your problems. So automatically to a regular person, you could probably try and relate to that. Okay? To someone who has autism like me, the first thing that I would think of when someone would say that to me is, does that mean that my problems aren't worth it to anybody, all because someone out there is going through something worse than me? And it took me going to therapy to realize that, yes, there are people that are going through worse than me, from racial stuff to the government to things like that. But that does not mean that my problems do not matter. I've come to the conclusion where, as long as I understand that people are going through worse than me, I'll put on the table that I'm going through bad stuff too. If that makes any kind of sense whatsoever. It's kind of like giving your thoughts on a movie based around someone else's review on it when you haven't seen it for yourself. It's literally just like that. And me back in the day, if somebody would have said that to me, I would go completely silent about it. Me now, though, I'm like this. I'm like, yes, I understand that people are probably going through worse things than me, but that doesn't make my problems invalid. I'm going through stuff too. I would like some type of basic respect on that. Thank you very much for your time. You know? And same with depression. You know, I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for Shadowseed. I'm grateful for Rumble. You know, I'm grateful for my big brother figure, Corey. I'm thankful for my other big brother figure, Darth Hat Daddy. My big sister figure, Twiggy. You know, I'm grateful for them. But that doesn't mean that the abyss surrounding me doesn't sound amazing when it sings its sweet, dark songs in my ear. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you this. A lot of people I know do not know how to describe depression. I'm one of the few that know how to. And when I describe it, like to my nieces, for example, they get it. They understand what I'm talking about. Depression, I call it the abyss. The abyss is dark, it's cold, and it tries to tell you / sing what you want to hear. But if you listen too much to it, or you let it control you for too long, you'll hurt yourself, if you know what I mean, either physically or mentally. Onyx the Abyss Walker. I've been called that before, but I was called I was called something else. I had made a character that was like called the Abyss Stalker, which was pretty cool. But no, on a serious note, that's really what depression is. It's a giant abyss that is nice and cold, dark, and it tries to give you the illusions of things that would calm you down and make you feel better, when really it makes you feel worse without you knowing. Like, for example, for me, I hate bright lights, so that's why I like darkness. I don't like heat, which is why I love the cold. You know, I like hearing things that I want to hear. Depression is the painted world. It can be. That's a good way to put it, too. That's a good way to put it as well. Most definitely, dude. Most definitely. But really, you know, depression is molded to... It's molded around your weaknesses, but it hides itself as motivation, if that makes any sense. It's like, oh, you feel stressed out? Let me tell you something that would make you not feel as stressed anymore. But then you find out you might be physically or mentally hurting yourself. You get what I mean? So there's that, you know. There's that. And yeah, depression is a big thing. Depression can hurt almost anybody. And literally, I'm gonna tell you this: if a person says they're not depressed, that's absolute fucking bullshit. And I'm gonna tell you how you know. Okay? It doesn't matter if you make all the money that you would ever want, or you have the perfect house, you have the perfect job, you're able to get the best sleep in the world. There will always be something that you want, wish you could have it, but might not ever get it. It doesn't even have to be a thing. It doesn't even have to be a place. It doesn't even have to always be a person. It could be one thing, and you know what it'll do? It'll make you think dark thoughts. It'll make you think real deep stuff. And that leads to depression. You know what I'm saying? And that's literally what depression is, and it's a pain in the ass. It is an absolute pain in the ass. If depression never existed, we would probably be in a much healthier place. Hell, still to this day, I think depression leads to a lot of the wars that we have, not just, you know, debates and stuff. Now, I'm not a political talker or a religious talker, but this is just me kind of putting that little idea out there. I think it's not just different views of the world and people's points of views. I think it's also, you know, just a tiny bit of depression mixed in there. Like people's different visions of what the world could be. And no matter what you do, no one will ever be completely happy in the world. No one will be. It's not possible. It's kind of like the moral to Superman Red Son. And I'm not talking about the cartoon movie from DC, which that was a great movie, by the way. I'm talking about the comic book series of Superman Red Son. The moral to the comic book series of Superman Red Son is literally this: you can't keep the whole world in a jar to protect it. One day the glass is going to break. What are you going to do when that happens? Superman Red Son is about someone who wanted to save everyone. Not just Russia, but even leading to America, but of course Lex Luthor tried to stop Superman from doing that. But Superman Red Son, Superman wanted to help everyone. But America got it, took it the wrong idea because of Lex Luthor. And honestly, giving somebody that has phenomenal, unlimited power the ability to try and own a whole country, that's like suicide, dude. It really is. That, and I hate saying that word, but the way that I'm describing it, it's bound to not work. Even though I love Superman Red Son, I love the idea that Superman was a freaking terrorist. Wonder Woman actually was into Kal-El Superman in Russia because their ideals were similar. That it's cool. Hell, Green Lantern becoming an American weapon, that was interesting. The idea of Bizarro Superman becoming a thing because, well, Lex Luthor tried to clone his own version of Superman, but it was imperfected. I think in the DC animated movie version of the comic, he was called Superior Man. But yeah. Oh yeah, the Red Sun storyline was always very interesting, especially the twist at the end of the actual comic series, when you find out that Earth becomes Krypton, and all the L's, as in like Kal-El, were actually Luthors. Like that's pretty cool. And you find out that the Superman that they sent into space, instead of them sending it to a planet called Earth, they sent it into a black hole that would change its trajectory to literally go to that timeline's version of Earth. So I thought that was very cool. But yeah. Yeah, the Red Sun storyline was really, really good. There was another What If storyline I liked where Superman's, Kal-El's little baby spaceship lands in Gotham City instead of Smallville. And Kal-El becomes Bruce Wayne. And when Bruce Wayne's parents get killed is when he finds out he has powers, because he gets so angry that heat rays come out of his eyes and kill your boy that killed Bruce's parents. But then I felt it kind of went downhill when you found out that Lex Luthor became the Joker. I was like, does Lex ever get a freaking break? Poor Lex. You know? Oh, poor Luthor, dude. Come on, dude. Excuse me. But yeah, that is what it is. But yeah, those were like my favorite Superman alternatives. My favorite Batman alternative, though, is Batman Gotham by Gaslight. I like both the DC animated movie and the comic book series. Both of them, funny enough, have different endings, though. So I find that kind of funny. But funny enough, I like the ending to the DC animated movie of Batman Gotham by Gaslight more than the ending in the comics. I felt that the ending for the movie was much better. And I'll only reveal the ending if people don't care about spoilers. And, of course, the comic series, too. Okay, so in the comic series, Jack the Ripper is someone who knew Bruce's parents. And he didn't agree with the fact that I think it was Bruce's mother, Martha, that created an orphanage for women that didn't have homes. But of course, it ends up becoming Whitechapel. And, yeah, that kind of becomes things. So Jack the Ripper is basically someone that knew Bruce's parents, but didn't really agree with what was going on. I think it literally was Alfred. I think literally Alfred was Jack the Ripper. I think it was Alfred. But Alfred didn't know. It was kind of like a sleeper soldier type of thing. But the ending for the movie, I feel, was better. Because the reveal of Jack the Ripper in the DC animated movie was Commissioner Gordon. And when they revealed the twist, I didn't see it coming. And I say that with a big smirk on my face. I didn't see it coming until the last few moments of the movie. And I love that so much. I love twists like that where they fuck with my logical mind. Because I'm the type of guy where I watch a lot of horror movies. I watch a lot of documentaries. I review a lot of stuff and things like that. Same with my little brother. He was like that as well. So I was always used to cliches. And when you get this twist, when I figured that out, I was like, dude, that's really good. Wow. And the funny part was, because this was a different age when this was going on, the last fight with quote unquote Jack the Ripper / Commissioner Gordon and Batman, Gordon was whooping Batman's ass. He was whooping his ass because Commissioner Gordon originally was a soldier in the war. So he knew how to do his CQC, also known as close quarter combats. He was whooping Batman's ass in this freaking movie. I was like, oh my god, is he actually going to kill Batman? I mean, of course he wasn't going to kill Batman. But I was like, oh my god, is he really beating the shit out of him? I was like, holy shit, dude. Because it's a really big deal when you watch a movie and you see Batman getting his ass whooped. That's a really big deal to me. Like, for example, the Batman movie where he had a crossover with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And Shredder was whooping Batman's ass. I was like, oh my god. Get him, Orokusaki. Get him. Because I hardly ever call Shredder. I usually call him Orokusaki. But, oh, I know, it blew my mind too, man. It blew my fucking mind. Because you would think that it was going to be a terrible crossover. Because the last time I ever saw a TMNT crossover before that was in Power Rangers in Space. And that was a terrible crossover. Because that was the TMNT that had the female Ninja Turtle called Venus. And I hated that show. But yeah, man, Orokusaki was whooping Batman's ass, and I loved it. No. I was like, oh my god, he's gonna kill Batman. But yeah. Some of my favorite comics and movies is always mixed between Superman and Batman. Even though I'm going to say this, I'm more of a Batman fan than Superman, but there are some dark Superman stuff in terms of comics. I'm telling you. It was the 90s and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles needed a token girl turtle. I'm going to get this stuck in your brain, Shadow. Are you ready? Turtle titties. There you go. See if you can get to sleep with that in your mind. Come on, you can kill the Okuo woman. You can do it. I need to kill that Adamon. He's getting on my nerves. Come on. Come on. Yay, motivation back. Yes, get down, Mr. Monkey. Monkey. Okay. Go, Mr. Monkey. But yeah, man, I love having talks like this. This is so fun. This is fun. This is fun. Yeah, fun. Yeah, it's so fun. Well, we're going to do a Horn Buster. We're going to do an HP Recovery. And then we're going to do a Necro Magic here. We're going to do that. But see, as I was saying about a couple hours ago, when you get my gears turning in my head, I start talking up a fucking storm. I'm like a fucking car, dude. You warm me up the right way in my brain, I literally almost turn into rods. Like you can tell now. Yeah. I love it too. Yeah. But yeah, it's an interesting situation when it comes to television. Like, here's another really good example. When it came to the Twilight Zone, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Goosebumps, and Tales from the Crypt. Those were a couple series that my brother and me watched ritually. Especially Tales from the Crypt. My little brother had a real big thing for Tales of the Crypt. While I was the Goosebumps boy. And he got me into Tales from the Crypt and Alone in the Dark. And I got him into Goosebumps and the Twilight Zone. But then that's when I found out my little brother had a crush on Ron Serling. And at one point, he actually wanted to try the cigarettes that Ron Serling always commercialed in some of his endings of the Twilight Zone. But he was never a smoker, my little brother. He never was a smoker. But yeah, It's an interesting situation with like just some of the stuff that me and my little brother grew up with because we were very late bloomers to modern television. So, like for example, if there was something good coming on in like the year 2000s, we were still watching stuff from the 1930s and maybe lower than that. So, like for example, I was the guy that watched Bela Lugosi, Dracula, Boris Karloff, Frankenstein, you know, and all that stuff. He was the boy that watched westerns with Clint Eastwood, John Wayne, Lee Van Cleef, which is my favorite western cowboy. I love Lee Van Cleef. Fight me in the fucking streets. Any freaking thing with Lee Van Cleef was a good fucking movie. No matter if it was a supporting role or a main role. He was amazing in every fucking thing he did. And my little brother was into Clint Eastwood more, while I was more into Lee Van Cleef. Which is when we found out, you know, the Good and the Bad and the Ugly was fake. Oh, we wigged out at that stuff, man. See, while people were wanting the Avengers, we had me and my brother had the Good and the Bad and the Ugly, Fistful of Dollars, and all that. That was our Avengers movie. Was that okay? That was our Avengers movie. And I was so happy that we shared that. And I oh my god, I fucking loved it. Fucking loved it. Can someone allow that message, please? The Good and the Bad and the Ugly is such a good movie. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Alright, Mordor. You sleep well, man. I'll holler at you later on, okay? You have a good night now. But yeah, can someone allow Crow's message, please? Automod's being stupid. Huh, interesting. Alright, I'll do it myself then. Okay. Okay, good. My game didn't freeze when I did that. Okay. There we go. I fixed it. Yeah, I don't know what it is with Automod. It's being kind of weird. Magic. Yeah, Twitch is being weird. Apparently, he had blocked the term ugly in the chat. I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Oh, we're getting so close to getting him to level 30. I want that. I want that tonight. I totally want that tonight. So we can work on finalizing our team. See, this is why I like grinding in video games like this. I can talk to chat, have a freaking blast with chat. You know, I love that. I just find it funny that some streamers think that grinding levels off stream is more beneficiary. I don't agree with that. I use grinding levels in video games as ways for me to, you know, talk to people in chat. That chat interaction, man. Still up, huh, Waru? Alright. Waru Mumzimon. get him, Ash. Good. It's kind of like how there's some people that are so into doing Dungeons and Dragons streams, and no one will, like interact with chat with that as well. I understand that you got to be immersed for it, but I like a lot of chat interaction. Cool. We got Ash to level 31. Let's go Digivolve him. Yes. Yes. We might even do our DNA Digivolving too. That sounds like fun as well. Because I have an idea of what I'm going to do with Pokemon. I have a very, very good idea. You get both schools of thoughts, but we've had some good chats with you grinding. Oh yeah. I love being able to talk to people. That's one thing I love doing when I stream. I love talking to people. Alright, we're going to save so we don't have to do all that shit again. Because I'll even tell chat when I'm like, okay, chat, I got to be serious right now. Give me a few minutes and then we can get back to talking, But then there's like some people that just won't even talk at all. But I'm interesting about that. There's like been a lot of streams in my past where I've had people tell me after streams or like when I premiere it on YouTube, where people are like, oh, you should talk more, you should project yourself more, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, I can only go so far with projecting myself when no one talks back to me or I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall. I can only do that for so freaking long, okay? War Greymon. Let's see how his stats are going to change now. Let's see this. God, I love War Greymon. Ooh, 334, 324. That's really good. Attack went up by a couple points. Defense went up substantially. Speed's at 78, so it's not that bad. Could be much better. Because as you can see, watch. 78, we got a 93, and then we got an 86. War Greymon is the lowest right now. Which, it's kind of understandable, I guess. Alright, let's do a DNA Digivolve here. We're going to do Pokemon. And we're going to do Metal Greymon. Now, the thing is, this is going to turn it into a Greymon, which means it's going to become a vaccine. And I did say that I was going to have a virus, data, and vaccine Digimon for my team. But if I got my stuff right, we're going to have a different outcome with this. And I'll know. Should have 9 DP with Greymon. And I'm going to name this Greymon Shadow. Yay. Shadow. Get the spelling right here. Oh, I love Digimon, man. It's, dare I say, I love it a little more than Pokemon. And also, I believe that Digimon would have become much more mainstream and better if most companies didn't put all their eggs in a basket with Pokemon. I feel Digimon didn't do that good because of the popularity of Pokemon. Ooh. Those are some really good stats, dude. A 200s, a 98, 86, and 67 for a champion? Ooh, that's gonna be a powerful bastard. That's gonna be a powerful bastard. Oh man, I'm excited about this. I am excited about this. He's gonna be a bad bastard. Oh man, come here, big boy. We're gonna take you somewhere here. I did as well. Sooner or later, I'm gonna try to save up to get something off of Etsy that I used to own. I used to have one of the original Digivices, where I had Agumon as my partner on the Digivice. It was a Gigapet type thing, basically Tamagotchi, and I want it. Thing is, I have to save up about $166, but if I play my cards right, I might be able to get that within the next couple months. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Alright, so now I need to take him somewhere where he's not gonna get his ass whooped. So let me think here. Where's a good spot I can take him? I got just the place. I know where I can take you guys. I'm gonna take you to the domain. I'm gonna take you there. And once I get this Greymon to ultimate form, everything will start taking shape. Righty. Alrighty then. Now, you should have a couple additional attacks. We'll see what you got, Shadow. Okay, so first off, we gotta take out that Pisukamon. We'll do a Rose Spear on all of them. Okay, you don't have your new attacks. Okay. I'm gonna go on guard for right now. He's supposed to learn at least a couple additional attacks. But in terms of actual base Digimon, I love Agumon and Greymon and Metal Greymon and War Greymon. My other favorites is Skull Greymon and Machine Dramon. Especially Machine Dramon. When I learned of Machine Dramon's existence in Digimon, I was like, oh man, he's completely the polar opposite of War Greymon. Like, you can just tell. But not many people know that originally Metal Greymon was a virus-type Digimon. But I don't know why they changed him to Vaccine. I don't really get that. Plus, I like the idea of blue-skinned Metal Greymon. Like, if you were a subscriber to the channel, you'd notice that one of my animated emotes is a Digimon that I made when I was a little kid, but I had my artist make a rendition of him. He's called Metal Agumon. And also, if you look at my offline screen when I'm not streaming, and you look, and it has my schedule up and everything, you'll notice that I have my schedule being held by Metal Agumon and Boogle, which Boogle is another very important gaming character in my life. Do Buster, Necromagic, and then we'll put you. Boogle is a character from Torrance Passage, which is considered my favorite game of all time. It is a point-and-click game, and it is a Sierra Online game. And on speedrun.com, I own the 4th place prize for 100% completion, but I own the 1st place prize for segmented runs for Torrance Passage. But then there's Wishbone, where I own the 1st place prize for speedrun 100%, with cutscenes. There's my stuff. Good. So first off, we're going to put Chrono Breaker there. We're going to put Thunderball there. Triple Forces, and we'll keep Nova Blast right. Because at this rate, I believe this Greymon will be the last DNA Digivolve that I'll need to do for this Digimon, this whole thing. Which is exactly what I want it to be. Then there'll be one more DNA Digivolution left for Rosemon. Which that's going to be with Metal Mememon. But we're going to do that much later. We're not going to be doing that right now. I'll do Triple Forces. Triple Forces is a good attack for a champion. Why did you miss? When they miss, that totally messes up my mojo. But yeah, back to the subject at hand though. I think if they would have given equal footing for both Pokemon and Digimon, I think Digimon would have been so much better in America. I like the Japanese renditions of Digimon, especially the introduction music for the Japanese dub for Digimon. I hate the American theme song for Digimon. I hate it so much. I'm serious about that. I hate it, and that's so bad that I do. But in terms of the Digimon games, though, I only like Digimon World 1, Digimon World 2, which is what I'm playing right now, and Digimon Digital Card Battle Game. In terms of Digimon World 3 and all the new ones that have come out, even Digimon Survivor, I don't really like them. I don't. Sadly enough, I don't. Alright, let's put these in their spots that they need to go. Let's check to see if she can still go up levels, because she just went up a level. Let's check. That was her final. Okay, that's a good final level, actually. A very good final level. Wow. Shadow the Greymon is getting very strong really fast. He's going to be a strong-ass bastard. He's going to be a real strong-ass bastard. Pummel whack. magic, triple forces. But I like triple forces. It's a good attack. It's definitely good for a champion. We'll let War Greymon finish this fight. I'd say probably when I do her final DNA Digivolution in the middle will probably be when I get Shadow to Mega. Wait a minute. My favorite Digimon is Agumon. He's my favorite rookie. Always will be my favorite rookie. In terms of my favorite champion, my favorite champion in all Digimon would be Digivolve. My favorite ultimate form Digimon would probably be Gigadramon. And my favorite Mega is kind of a tie between War Greymon and Machine Dramon. But in terms of my favorite type, though, I'm a virus type fan. Yeah, hopefully you heard what I said, though, crap. Card. Magic. Alright, Shadow. You sleep well, man, and I will see you on Wednesday for Soulsborne Wednesday, alright? Thank you so much for coming. And sleep well. Get rid of that cough. Okay. But yeah, Agumon as rookie, champion Digivolve, ultimate Gigadramon, and then Mega either War Greymon or Machine Dramon. Those are my favorite out of like all the different Digimon. I guess you could kind of tell that I like dinosaur type Digimon. That's just how I've always been. Especially like demonic looking stuff too. What is this? Oh, I hope it's not a return bug. Okay, it's an energy bug. That's fine. That's fine. But then I got my Digimon that I made, which I'll show you that real quick while this is loading. Which is him. That's Metal Agumon. I made him myself. That's who I would want my partner to be. So yeah. Metal Agumon's a good boy. Yeah, same. I love the mechanical ones. But yeah, Digimon just looks like a demonic looking dinosaur. That's why I like him. Plus his model in Digimon World 2 is freaking cool looking. So freaking cool looking, dude. Demi Dart. Oh man. Did I ever get into Yu-Gi-Oh? Let me tell you a story about my Yu-Gi-Oh past. So, me and my little brother got into Yu-Gi-Oh. We were in a couple Yu-Gi-Oh clubs, and in one of the county championships that we used to have where I live, I was a 5-year champion in the Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments until they started changing the rulings of cards and starting to ban cards. And when that happened, I vacated my title. because I was just completely against that. And then after that, I got into like a small Yu-Gi-Oh club that were ran by old friends of mine. I even kind of helped out with it. I guess you could call me like an assistant CEO of those. And we had like the title belt situation going on, similar to like that of wrestling. And we had our own little storylines and stuff as well. But we were technically legalized in the county that we did stuff in. That we were kind of legit at one point. And my character in those promotions, I guess you could call it, I acted a lot like Vince McMahon from WWE. I was like that guy that you wanted to hate so much, but yet if you pissed me off and got me back into dueling, I always had one of the longest winning streaks ever. Which, funny story, I never really got defeated in Yu-Gi-Oh! Unless there literally was somebody that had more skill than me. And my losing card is extremely low versus my winning card, which is very, very high. So, yeah, was I ever into Yu-Gi-Oh? Yes, I still have my decks, too. Especially my main one, which I call my Scatterbrain deck, because I'm the only one that can use it. And before you ask, I was and always will be a Blue Eyes guy. Like back in the day when the first decks came out, those were the Yugi Moto deck and the Seto Kaiba deck. Depending on who you chose for your first deck back in that day was who you were going to be compared to for the rest of your life. I got the Kaiba deck, my little brother got the Yugi deck, and we switched out a lot of cards from each of our decks so we could become a tag team. Oh yeah, most definitely. I like a lot of the veteran stuff though more than how it's become now. I guess you could say when I felt like they were going completely overboard was Synchro Monsters. Synchro's kind of weird. Well, I remember when I was in the Yu-Gi-Oh club at my high school, I had one of the longest winning streaks there too. I held both the main championship and the tag team championship with my little brother. I kind of carried my little brother through it because he wasn't much of a solo competitor. But it was a fun situation. Excuse me. How about you, Crow? Were you a Yu-Gi-Oh fan? But there is one Yu-Gi-Oh card that I still have to this day that I used in my original deck. When I actually took apart my original deck, though, and remade it for like the quote-unquote new age of Yu-Gi-Oh. There was two different stages of Yu-Gi-Oh that I went through. And all of it's based around, of course, life points. When it came to my 5-year reign in Yu-Gi-Oh! As a county champion, I was around during the 3,000 life point era and the I think it was either 4,000 or 5,000 life point era. And there was my version 1 of my Scatterbrain deck, and then there was my version 2 that I originally had. My version 1 had one card in it that was only useful in the 3,000 life point era of tournaments in Yu-Gi-Oh! And that card was called Victory Dragon. Well, it was considered one of the rarest cards back then. Still kind of is rare, but my Victory Dragon is an actual original original issue. And if you read the effect for Victory Dragon, you'll understand that it doesn't really make any sense now. But dueling back then was done in sets versus one duel and you're done. Which was what was considered version 2 of dueling. But yeah. Then there was version 2, which was either 4,000 or 5,000 attack. Not attack points, life points. And that was an interesting little case. Because that's when I kind of had to take Victory Dragon out of my deck, because it wasn't really useful in that quote-unquote new era. So, I don't remember what I replaced it with, but I still kept my Blue Eyes White Dragons and stuff like that. My deck went through, well, my main deck at least, went through 3 different revisions until what it is now. Where now it's like I took out old cards that I knew weren't going to work on some players, and I replaced it with cards that I liked the effects of from different decks that came out in the future. So yeah, there's that. But back when I dueled, I had two decks. I had my Scatterbrain deck and I had my Toon deck because I love my Blue Eyes Toon Dragon. That was one of my favorite cards. Excuse me. But I mostly used my Scatterbrain. But I used my Toon one when I guess you could say I wanted to feel more on level with people, I guess, if that made any sense. Because I felt like my Scatterbrain deck was too overpowered. But then, of course, I stopped being champion for that tournament promotion because that's when they started banning more cards. And I was against that. So I vacated it and I never went into tournaments ever again. Which, once again, interesting situation. Because I still collected, I still played with my friends, but I refused to ever do official tournaments because my type of thing is if a company makes a card, it should be meant to be played, not be banned. And I understand why some people ban cards because they're like, oh, this effect is way too powerful to be in a deck, blah, 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 blah. But in my case, I'm like, if the card was made, it should be played. And for you to ban a card that would help somebody with like combos in a deck, that just really pissed me off. So yeah, that's why I didn't really do a lot of official tournaments anymore, but I did a lot of like veteran plays with friends and stuff like that. It was fun. If I can at least get this Greymon to Ultimate, I'll be satisfied. Because that would be a really good stopping point, is getting this Greymon to Ultimate. That'd be a very good stopping point for me. Actually, you know what? Bakuman. I'm not gonna battle a Bakuman. It's not worth the XP. Let's see if we can get up there. Ah, you're stuck. Bye bye, Bakuman. Okay. Yeah, I knew you were. Perfect. Yes, that's a real battle there. Get up, Grandma. Oh, you're good, man. You're good. I completely understand. Oh, yeah. I still have a lot of my original collection. The video games were very weird, though. But the card game, so good. And like I said, depending on the eras that you played, some cards, if you were to look at them now, would make absolutely no freaking sense because the Yu-Gi-Oh card battle game has changed a lot since like the pre-Pegasus era versus the Pegasus era, the Battle City era, and all that stuff. It's like, for example, there's two cards that I can automatically think of where it's two cards from a different era, but one card would not be able to be used in an era modern like ours now, but the other one could be used in an era as modern as ours. And that is the differences between Victory Dragon and Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon could actually be still used in the modern era of 2022. In terms of Victory Dragon, no. Victory Dragon was used in a primitive time of tournaments. And as rules began to change and alter, you could never use Victory Dragon ever again, sadly. Like how we're on 5D of D&D. Exactly. Because, like, for example, if you look up Victory Dragon on Google or whatever, and you read that effect, 9 times out of 10 you won't understand the effect. Because dueling was different when that card came out versus the base of what dueling became as a norm when Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon became one of the strongest, most feared cards of the beginning normie era, I guess you could call it. It's not going to kill them, but we need to get her a little bit of time here. Like I said, whenever we were able to get Greymon to level 21, that would be a good stopping point for me. And I'm going to try to do that. Oh yeah, a lot of the art was really, really good. Especially the era of Toon monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is a favorite of mine as well. I have a Toon deck. And it's a Toon deck that I've had since Toon's debut. And I've only added to the freaking Toon deck. My team's starting to come together very nicely. I'm very, very surprised at my team. Because automatically the regular Greymon is done with DNA Digivolution. He doesn't need to do anymore. I'd say Rosemondo has at least one more DNA Digivolution left in her. And then in terms of War Greymon, I think he's good technically. Three more levels to go. But as we go higher into floors, the battles will get a little stronger. Except for the Bakuman. He's just there to be a troll. Bakuman is a troll. Bakuman is a troll. What do we got going? God dang it, Bakuman, you move too much. It's a Delta there. Maybe I can get to. Yep, I can. Come here, big boy. We're gonna fight. Of course you miss. Of course you fucking miss. It's always fucking with my damn mojo. Now, can you not miss an attack, please? Oh, my back. $183. do a full heal of her MP, and then we'll finish that. Alright. Next, no. Imagine having the heads for hands. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I get you. That would be so freaking weird. Hell, when it comes to Megadramon and Gigadramon, their hands are honestly non-existent. They're just giant pieces of metal that split open and shoot missiles using the urinal. I'd probably either sit on the toilet or I'd pee standing up. It's like a dinosaur, so it's gonna do dinosaur things. I mean, the T-Rex was a stubby little shit that couldn't really do anything either. Yet it was called the king of the dinosaurs. Sorry, guys, on my I'm trying to get rid of. I think I got it. No, I didn't get it. Ah. There we go. There we go. Hey, do I get stuff in my sure. He's almost there. He's only at level 18. We gotta get him to 21. And then when I get him to level 21 and I Digivolve him, that will be a good place to stop. Right. another triple forces. Alright. This fight's almost done. Oh. Like I said, we gotta get that Greymon to 21, and he's only level 18. It's a couple levels left. Okay, 76. Okay. Oh, okay. Not bad. Alrighty then. Let's see. Let's do a rose spear, and if anybody's still surviving, we'll do a triple forces. That'd probably be a good idea. I would love if this War Greymon would learn his Terra Force, though. Yeah, It'd be so useful. Of course, the Soulmon is still alive. That's surprising. Okay. Scissor Claw. It's just one enemy. Like I said, we're really close now. We just need to get the Greymon up 2 more levels. But the way this is going, we'll be running into some stronger fights a little bit along the way. I'm not concerned about not getting him to 21. We'll be able to get him to 21. And then when I pick this up on Friday, not only will we work on getting that version of Shadow leveled up, we'll also do more story progression. Because yay. How far in the game am I now? Let's see. I've dealt with stage 1 of the Blood Knights. I'm currently trying to fight the 3 generals to get the 3 Chaos Rings, so I can defeat Chaos Lord and Crimson Face 2. I'd say we're around the middle of the game. I'd say. If you really try to put it into context, then yes, around the middle of the game. Because there's different hurdles that you have to prepare yourself for in the game. There's the arrival of the Crimson Knights. I mean the Blood Knights. Then there's Crimson himself. Then there's the second encounter with Crimson, which I haven't gotten to that yet, because that's linked to the 3 Chaos Lords. I mean the 3 Chaos Generals and their Chaos Rings, which is needed to get to the Chaos Lord. And then after that will be the Gaia phase, which when the Gaia phase hits, that'll be close to around partial endgame. And I know a lot of that out of like muscle memory. Come on, don't freeze on me. Come on. Stop giving me frame rate issue. Ah, come on. Quit that. Those are the only times I ever really need a walkthrough for this game is for certain DNA Digivolution results. Oh yeah, I definitely have a good amount left yet. That is correct. And keep in mind, this is my second streamed playthrough of Digimon World 2. I used to play this a lot when I was a kid. So that's why I know a lot about the game. But I'd say whenever I decide to do a third playthrough of the game, also known as a final playthrough, where I play with as the data guard team called the Blue Falcons, I'm going to be using a different version of Digimon World 2. A good while back, I found a hacked version of Digimon World 2 where it fixes a lot of the bugs that are in the game. Plus, it adds some cut content that was supposed to be in the game, which I'm excited for that because it's kind of like my way of like a challenge run. But then again, every playthrough I've done is different than the others. So like my first streamed playthrough, I did the Gold Hawks, which is considered my favorite guard team. And my whole team consisted of vaccine. It was 2 vaccine Digimon and a virus Digimon. It was War Greymon, Imperial Dramon, and Machine Dramon. This playthrough is going to be 1 data, 1 virus, and 1 vaccine. But the reveal for those is a little bit of a spoiler because I'm kind of leaving my chat to be surprised with the final results. And then when it comes to whenever I do the hacked version of Digimon World 2 / my final playthrough, sooner or later, I'm not going to like do it after this. It will be an all data team because I want to do an all data team. And depending on which guard team you choose first, will decide like the first 1/4 of the game and how it will treat you. Because I'd say that vaccine would be like easy mode. Virus would be more like normal mode, and data would be more of hard mode because of just the different things that you find in your first few missions in the game. Because when it comes to the guard team that you start off with, that you choose, you're tied to that specific type of Digimon. Oh yeah, Digimon World 2 is different than the first game. I do plan on doing a playthrough of Digimon World 1 at one point too. Yeah, there's different types of Digimon. There's virus types, vaccines, and datas. And the funny story about the guard team that you choose for Digimon World 2, you get a partner Digimon. Now there is a catch to it because your partner Digimon will only be able to get to, I believe, level 13 champion, and he starts off as a rookie level 1. So, yeah, you can't just beat the game with your rookie Digimon and any Digimon you find in the domain and stuff like that. You have to rely on DNA Digivolution or you will fail. Like, it's like that. But then there's Digimon World One, where it takes the Tamagotchi formula a little bit seriously. Basically, you get sucked into your Digivice, and you get teleported to the digital world, and you automatically have your Digimon partner, but it's based around like a tiny little questionnaire that you have to answer in the beginning of the game. And basically, your mission for Digimon World 1 is to repopulate File Island / File City, because the Digimon lost their memory and went off and did random shit. And you go to like different parts of the digital world. And your partner, you only get one Digimon as your partner, versus Digimon World 2, where you get technically 3 for a team. So you only get one partner in Digimon World 1. You train your Digimon with like tests of knowledge, offensive, defensive, speed, HP and MP and stuff like that. You're basically training them like kind of like a boxer. And depending on the stats during your training that you give your Digimon will be what they Digivolve into down the road. And depending on your care successes and care mistakes will depend on what happens with your Digimon. So it's literally like you're sucked in a Tamagotchi and you're trying to save the world that you're sucked into with your partner. And it can be a hard game at times. Let me fix this again. There we go. I wish someone would suck me into a Tamagotchi. Oh lord, man. Yeah, apparently the auto mod thought that suck me was a sexual term. I mean, it kind of is, but that's funny. I need to stop making lewd comments, it seems. It's not my main mods. It's just a fucking robotic mod in Twitch chat. It's so freaking weird. I gotta get this Greymon to level 21. I gotta get you to level 21, dude. Because that'll be a great stopping point for me if I can get him to level 21. I blame Shadow because he's not here. Oh, Rumble's here. Rumble's just in pure freaking lurk mode. Either that or he's falling asleep, but I don't know. It's a lot of Vaden right there. Because usually I have 5 moderators here, but 1, Shadow is asleep. 2, Rumble's either in pure lurk mode or he's fallen asleep. Becker, he's been having some life issues that he's been having to take care of. Darth Hat Daddy, I believe, is streaming right now, and his wife is with him in that stream, and they're all my mods. For me, it is 4:27 a.m. I've always been a late night streamer because I can never sleep at night. And plus, the people that I live with, they make it nearly impossible for me to stream during the day. And I appreciate that. I like being able to talk to somebody when I'm streaming. Because like I said, you know, sometimes I go completely silent when I'm streaming. And I can only do so much projection of like emotions and stuff like that until I feel like I'm just talking to a brick wall, you know what I mean? So for me to have someone to talk to while I'm streaming makes me feel so good. People's body clock's just different sometimes. Well, I know that Rumble, he streams during the day. Rumble is Texas time. Shadow is California time. And Darth Hat Daddy and Twigs are also Texas time. Oh yeah, most definitely. And me, I'm Eastern Standard Time. Oh yeah, that's right, you're UK. Yeah, I'm sorry about what happened to the game. I'm sorry about that. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. I'm just an apologetic type of person. That's all. You and that crow, I swear. I think the crow's hilarious. Here we go. Good job, Rosemont. Alright, one more level to go. And also, it seems War Greymon's going to go up a level. That's awesome. That is really good. That means War Greymon will get his fucking Terra Force. Oh, that's going to be so fun. That's going to be so freaking fun. So now we can use the hell out of War Greymon right now. But I did hear, though, that the Queen was a very, very nice woman, though. You're still upset about the tea in Boston Harbor, though? Wait, are you talking about the Boston Tea Party? Are you really talking about the Boston Tea Party where they freaking, what is it? They dumped tea out of a boat, out of a ship into the water? Hashtag never forget. The fact that I remember that, oh my god. The fact that I remember that, and I don't remember how I remember that. I remember a lot of the weirdest stuff that has nothing to do with me. That's so freaking weird. Wait, I think I know how I know about it. I think it was Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? I think that's where I learned it. No, not that. Not Carmen Sandiego. I cannot remember the show. It wasn't Dr. Peabody. But it was a show about a few people that time traveled to events in time where alternate things were just happening. And like, I remember a couple episodes from it. I just don't remember the basis of it. One of them was the Boston Tea Party. And the other one that I remember was George Washington Carver. And he was trying... This was an alternate event where he was trying to make a peanut-scented glue. But it wasn't working out, and then he learned that he could eat what he made, and it was peanut butter. Damn, what was that fucking show? How can I not remember that show? Yet I remember certain things about it. Knowing things, I'm probably gonna remember it when I end stream. That's usually how it goes with me. It wasn't Magic School Bus. It wasn't Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, even though I love the fucking animated show and the game show. My brother loved the game show, and he got me into the game show. And it was so cool. I just can't remember that other show. Knowing things, when I end the stream in a little while, I'll probably remember it. Sometimes I hate my old ass brain. Oh yeah, indeed. It is funny what sticks in our heads. Yeah. It's so weird, dude. With regards to the cartoon show you're talking about, yeah. Like, I remember also when I used to watch Animaniacs. Being able to remember episodes of a show you haven't seen in years. Oh my god, yeah. Like, I remember Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain, Freakazoid, remember all that. Terraforce! Fuck yeah. Cha. Terraforce is such a good move. Sure, I'll take it like that. Sure. Yeah, just wait till you see Terraforce. Such a fun move. Damn it. Freaking controller. Thank you. When I wanted to do a diagonal and it wasn't letting me do it. Such a pain in the butt. I just got to get that regular Greymon to level 21. We're only one level away. Terraforce. Rose Spear. Triple Forces. Yeah, boy, that 121, dude. Yeah, get down, alien boy. Now we'll let War Greymon take care of this. We gotta keep her MP up. Like I said, until we at least get Greymon to 21. Okay. Terraforce. There we go. Probably approximately 2 more battles will get Greymon to 20. It does remind me of as well to Phantasy Star Online, yeah. A lot of the music in this game is interesting. Yeah, Phantasy Star Online was okay. It was a decent game. There's a couple other games I'd like to try and do a playthrough of soon. I definitely want to do the Mega Man Legends games for PlayStation. Especially Mega Man Legends 2. I never did finish that game on the channel. I know I introduced it at one point. I'm very good at the Mega Man Legends games. Especially Mega Man Legends 2. That's a really good game. See, old version of me would love to do a playthrough of Legend of Dragoon. But when my brother died, a lot of motivation of mine kind of left with him. Plus, Legend of Dragoon was one game that we both played a lot of. I'd also love to do a playthrough of Darkstone. Let's see. A lot of different games I need to play. But sooner or later I will. Sooner or later I will. Okay, 220. So that means one more fight will do it, yeah. As long as it's over 299. Let's go to the next floor and see what happens. That's a perfect fight to stop. There we go. Yeah, just you wait to see what happens with this grandma. This has been an idea I've had in my head since I started this playthrough. That's a tough Skull Greymon. But when it comes to you saying imagine being good at games, originally when I first started YouTube many years ago, one of my favorite mottos I like to say is if an average Joe like me can be good at games, anyone can. But then I learned my autistic mind may have had its weaknesses, but also had its strengths. I adapt faster than a regular person would at certain games. And sometimes it can be both a blessing and a curse. Here we go, got him level 21. Let's go take care of his Digivolution. And then when we Digivolve the Greymon, we will save, and then we will end for tonight, and we'll see if we can do a raid. I'm going to see if someone I know might be streaming. We'll see. Yeah. It can be both. Alright, let's go Digivolve Greymon. Skull Greymon. So now you see how this was going to go down. He's not Digivolving the Metal Greymon. He's turned into a Skull Greymon. Oh yeah, and he's going to be a tough son of a bitch too. Oh yeah, that's really good for a fucking ultimate. Oh, it's so fucking good. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So good. Why has he gotta have a meat missile on his back? Because he's a skeleton with a spine that he can shoot out at things. Well, it's an organic missile, but you know, it is what it is. Alright, so we're gonna save the game, and then I'm gonna talk about my schedule, and then we will do a raid. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so my next stream is going to be on Wednesday, 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be Soulsborne Wednesday. We'll do another save just in case. Where I'm going to do some more Elden Ring. I'm going to be working on Darts von Zarovich and his remade build. And then Friday will be Retro Friday, where I'll be doing more Digimon World 2. Until, of course, my channel challenge comes into play. And then we'll go from there when it comes to our schedule for next week as well. So yeah, we are going to try and do a raid. So I'm going to pause the game here, and I'm going to see if someone I know is streaming. So I'm going to do some raid messages here. We're going to do exclamation point raid 1 and exclamation point raid 2. If you are a subscriber to the channel, do a copy paste of the raid 1 message. If you are not a subscriber to the channel, do a copy paste of the raid 2 message. I want to see if my big brother Darth Hat Daddy 13 is streaming. If he is, we're going to go see him. Let's see. Here we go. Yes, he is. Awesome. Alright, so get your raid messages ready. We're going to go give a raid to Darth Hat Daddy 13. And I will see you guys on Wednesday for Soulsborne Wednesday, where we'll be doing more Elden Ring. So until then, big shout out to my mods for coming as well. Big shout out to Krause for coming in. Also to Rod Skaden for popping in as well. And Mr. Darth Mordor as well for coming in. So as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I am your friendly neighborhood game machine, and this was Random Monday, where I decided to do some Digimon World 2. And until I see everyone in the next video or live stream, peace out, happy gaming, my friends, and please stay safe out there.